Hey everyone, this is Sharayu. Welcome back to yet another video of Shout Out to Books, where we discuss anything, everything related to books, stories, fun plot and whatnot. Hope you all are doing good today. So, have you heard of Murakami before? There are two Murakamis into the literature world, but I am going to specifically talk about Haruki Murakami and his very popular book called Norwegian Wood. Haruki Murakami is a Japanese author, Japanese writer who writes short stories, essays, and also the novels. And he is known to be a running author because he runs and he has quite strict schedule when it comes to running and writing. He's 70 plus right now. So along with his books, the author himself is quite interesting. Many of his books are translated into the multiple languages, like 50 plus languages worldwide, and he is internationally also a bestseller, along with being a bestseller, a great famous popular author in Japan. So Norwegian Wood, okay, this one, it came in 1987, way before many of us were born. It's a story of a guy called Toru Watanabe who is in love with this girl called Naoko, and who also were his best friend's girlfriend. Complicated enough. It gets more complicated because Toru's best friend called Kizuki, he committed a suicide when they were in college and they were young. Although nobody knows the reason behind his suicide, but his suicide left a scar on both of Toru as well as Naoko's heart. So after Kizuki's suicide, right, both Toru's and Naoko's life has a huge void. Somehow to fill that void, they get in touch with each other after some years, and they keep on, they walk around in the cities, and Toru falls for Naoko. Story is narrated by Toru Watanabe himself into the flashback when he is at, the book starts with Toru being at an airport, and he hears a song Norwegian Wood by Beatles from somewhere, and it triggers all those memories and his past memories, and then he starts narrating it to the reader. The storyline is set somewhere into the 1960s, where there were some protests going on in Japan in real life, and the protests are into the background of the story. So although the story is about the main characters and their journey and their mental issues and all those things, but the background has the student protests. So when Naoko is with Toru during her college days, right? What happens is she walks around into the cities, and they sometimes interact, not too much verbally, but they do. But all of a sudden, one day, Toru gets to know that Naoko has dropped out of a college and she has decided to go to this sanatorium. Later on he finds that out. This sanatorium is placed somewhere into the forest, and because she is facing the mental challenges, right, that is why she registers to that and she goes there. Then comes the another character. Despite of being in love with Naoko, Toru develops some feeling for this another character called Midori. Now Midori is entirely different from Naoko. She is not at all like Naoko. She is exactly opposite of her. She is fun-loving, she is happy-go-lucky kind of a person, although she has many challenges in her own life as well, but her way of handling the challenges is quite different. She handles it with jokes and fun and other things. So she develops all those things, feelings for Midori. Torn between these two girls, he decides to decides to go into the suburbs, and he struggles with his emotions for both of these girls. Toru sometimes visits Naoko, and he in that sanatorium, and he gets acquainted with this another character called Riko, who talks about her failed marriage and talks about her mental illness. Then Naoko in return also talks about her elder sister's suicide, her boyfriend's suicide, and all the uncomfortable topics that she can never talk about. She cannot open up about those. Naoko talks about that. So during all this mess, during all these issues that our characters are facing, what happens to those? What happens to Midori? What happens to Toru? What happens to Naoko and Riko? Do they get there? Do Midori gets her happy ending? Do happy ending matter? Does even ending matter? It's all about that. The story reveals it in a gradual manner, and it takes you on a surreal journey. So along with the captivating story, this book also reveals the very complicated facts about the mental illness to the reader. So this book is more of a awareness. This book will create awareness about the mental illness amongst its readers. It will tell you how exactly depression operates. It will tell you how exactly depression works. The good thing is this book's language is very simple. Okay, and there is some tragic beauty to most of the scenes in this book that you are going to be able to imagine it very well, and it makes it more surreal. Now with Murakami's work, right, remember to be careful, remember to keep your mind open towards all the possibilities. He talks about many of the tabooed stuff as well. He talks about the uncomfortable stuff as well, so you have to keep your mind open. His books will surely widen your understanding of your own self, and if you are a beginner into the literature, if you want to read English book but you haven't started, you want to read something that is translated but you haven't read anything so far, if you are a beginner into that area as well, I think Murakami is the best choice, because he does not use any big words or complex words. With the simple words he is going to convey the story, and it will give you the confidence as well that you were able to finish a book which was not in your mother tongue, if your mother tongue is not English. I would though recommend you to go for movies as well, if there is any movie out of his books, right? In our case, for example, in Norwegian Wood, there is a movie based off this book, and give it a try. I haven't watched the movie, so I may not know if it did justice to the book or not, but go for movies as well. So reading his book will give you plenty of knowledge about songs and authors and literature and the movies from that era, whichever timeline that he's talking about. He writes about all those things in his books, and he makes it quite interesting. He gives all those references. For example, the Norwegian Wood itself, right? It is a song by Beatles, and there is a reference of this song in the book. And if you prefer something always socially acceptable, and if you are bound by your views, and if you don't like to read something offbeat, surreal or bizarre, then Haruki Murakami is not for you, because after reading him, right, with that mindset, you are going to get deeply offended, and you are going to hate the guy for something beautiful that he created. So he's not for you guys. If you are someone who hate open-ended book, who hates cliffhangers, Murakami is not for you, because most of his books have the open endings, and you have to come up with theories after reading the book. It's like you have to keep thinking about the storyline. You have to understand the references and the something hidden between the lines in the book. So you have to go through those theories as well. So if you are someone who doesn't like open-ended books, Haruki Murakami is not for you. Make sure to go through Norwegian Woods and let me know how did you find my recommendation. This is one of the popular book, and it is worth the hype, so give it a try. If you have read any other book by Haruki Murakami, let me know into the comment section. And if this is your first time starting Haruki Murakami, Norwegian Wood will be the best choice. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe to my channel. It is free. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.